We are live once again. Let's see if we can connect this time. And we're going live with my broker, CJ Vandermeulen. And she will be joining us in just a moment. Here you go. Just sent a request. Let's see if it works this time. Should say something like join. There we go. Modern technology, I tell you. It says unable to join.
Yay!
Oh, yay, we got it. Yeah, modern technology. Here
It
we
kept
are.
saying me. That's weird.
Yeah, it said unable to join, and yeah, it's new every time I go live, and it's just something new every time. But
Cool.
welcome. This is really cool to be able to chat. We know with all the social distancing, it's been challenging, but we've been doing big things, and I wanted my audience to hear from you.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about kind of your background and what your focus is for our group there at Vandermeulen.
Okay. So my background is from corporate America and held positions all the way up to chief executive officer in a high tech industry. And decided to retire out of that in about 2004, and I got involved in real estate. And sold a lot of residential real estate, got involved in commercial real estate, which I like quite a bit. I actually like the ability to do both. I like to sell residential and commercial. And so we started our own company in 2017. So I broke away from our existing broker, and quite frankly, because he was having health issues. And that was a real big issue. We adored him, and what a great mentor, wonderful teacher. But we went off into our own, and that's where we started Vandermeer Investment Properties. And in a nutshell, what we do is very unique out in real estate. So we have the ability to do whatever our client wants us to do and go wherever they want us to go, all the way from helping them buy or sell a condo to helping them buy or sell a Walgreens building across the country. So
Yeah,
the whole idea being that we don't ever have to say no to our clientele.
yeah, and that's what attracted me. I love the flexibility, the variety. But walk us through, how did you get into the commercial field? You said you started with residential, and then you started with commercial. What?
Uh, a couple of different reasons. I think one was that commercial is very very techy. You know, it's statistical. There's no emotional, part of the buying process
Yeah.
where homes are. You know, my major market was the second home market, and sold a lot of, and still do. We have a location in Lake Arrowhead. Sold a lot of second homes up there. And I did love the emotional aspect of it, helping people find their dream vacation home. I absolutely love that. But my broker felt that I had the aptitude. And he said, he's been selling commercial real estate for 20 years already at that time. And he said, with my skill set, that he thought it would be a good transition for me. And quite frankly, it takes as much time and energy to sell a $10 million Walgreens as it does to sell a $500,000 cabin like Arrowhead. So
That is true.
right, right. And the paychecks are typically going to be larger on the.
Yeah. So then from the perspective of a seller, who are the clients? I know you've worked with a lot of first-time commercial real estate, and that has been in the triple net lease. Talk
Mhm.
about that. One, explain what is a triple net lease and how does who are your clients that you've helped into their first triple net lease?
Okay, so what a triple net lease is, and for those people who don't know, is what our clients are doing is they're buying a building and they're buying the tenant along with it. So when they're buying a Walgreens, they don't own that business. It's owned and run, operated by Walgreens, but Walgreens becomes your tenant. Okay, so what it does is it just becomes an excellent income stream for the clientele. Now, what triple net means is it describes the landlord responsibility versus the tenant responsibility. A triple net lease means that the landlord has no responsibility, meaning uh, the tenant pays all property taxes, all property insurance, and all property maintenance. Okay, so from my client's perspective, buying a Walgreens in St. Paul, Minnesota, which is one that I did sell, it doesn't matter that there's snow in the parking lot. It's Walgreens' responsibility to take care of removing the snow. And if something happens to the parking lot because it's being, has this equipment on it, gets pitted, has to be redone, it's Walgreens' responsibility to do. So it's really good for somebody who wants a good passive income where they have no responsibility. And that's really partly who my clientele ends up being is an apartment owner who maybe in their career they just no longer want the landlord responsibility. They don't want to worry about being on vacation somewhere and they've got a tenant that's left, or a stopped up toilet, or somebody's not paying, or something like that.
Yeah.
So they don't want that responsibility anymore. The second thing is oftentimes people have generated a bunch of income, a bunch of wealth. They bought a lot of apartment buildings, but their children don't want to inherit and run them. Maybe, their son is a doctor, the daughter is an attorney. They're not interested in running it. And so from a perspective of, from an inheritance perspective, I've had clients that will buy a commercial building, one for each kid.
Yeah.
That way, when something happens to them, then their kids don't have to worry about selling them or do anything along those lines. So my typical client is going to be somebody who has owned apartment buildings and has decided that they don't want to have that involvement anymore.
Yeah, I know we've had some clients like that. What about for, anyone that's wanting to get into this space? They don't have any properties right now in terms of investment properties, and they'd like to make this jump into the commercial market. What do you recommend for them?
From what perspective?
From the perspective of they're looking at retirement.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking at planning for their future. They didn't buy an apartment building. They have a little equity in their home. What does it take? Because people hear the term commercial and they immediately think it's out of reach for them. So what will it take? Like what's the lowest price maybe
Okay.
commercial property they could get into?
Okay.
Like you've talked about Dollar Generals before.
Okay, so we're specifically talking about triple net properties, and what I trade in mostly are what we call quality tenants. So people like Walgreens and CVS and Starbucks and Advance Auto and Dollar General and banks, a really good example. These are traded over the New York Stock Exchange. They have FICO scores like we do, and so you know what their credit rating looks like. And they offer our clients a corporate guarantee on the lease. Okay, and they typically will lease for a long period of time. Starbucks brand new lease is 10 years. Walgreens is 25. Dollar General is 15. So they will sign a long-term lease with options to extend. So that's so for that type of a tenant, you're talking about 35 to 40% down is what you'll need. And I would say an entree on something like this, a Dollar General is going to be about $1.5 million. So a
Yeah,
million and a half.
yeah, which is very doable for, I mean, here in California, I mean, that's an average house
Yes, and I think
in Orange County.
doable. And so, it's surprising how many people have investment portfolios that you weren't even aware of. For example, everybody, most people have 401ks, and
Yeah,
people own stock. You just will not make the return on stock that you would on a triple net. And so, and most people like to, uh, not have all their money in one place. So they're looking at, how do I take my portfolio and turn it into a portfolio where I have some risk, and maybe that's my stock market, and maybe I have a 401k, and that's kind of split up however I want, and I have apartment buildings, or I have whatever, and they decide to diversify a little bit. I would say that a commercial triple net is similar to a stock investment, but you'll you'll make a good amount of money, and there's very little risk. Whereas with the stock market, you're going to go up and down and up and down. With this kind of investment, you've got that long term income, and it's going to come, month after month after month, year after year after year. And so if you're looking for a way to have that passive income, and you know what you're looking for, that would be a good investment for you. But again, there's lots of people that would have that ability to do it.
yeah. So how is that market this year in terms of triple net? Commercial overall hasn't done too well, we know, but in comparison, what about the triple net leases that you've seen
Well, I think
for the essential businesses?
okay, so I think the essential business are doing well. What's interesting about commercial, and if you think about it, it's similar as it relates to homes. The lower the interest rate, the higher the resale prices, right? So if interest rates were 9 and 10% right now, our home values would crash, right? Because the monthly payment would be crazy. And who could afford that crazy price? The reason why it's inflated so much the way it is because interest rates have remained low for such a long time. And that's the same thing that's going on with commercial real estate. Commercial real estate right now, you can get loans anywhere from 3.5 to 4.25. And that's a pretty reasonable number. So, I'm seeing activity. I like to trade in the brand new stuff, and I'm seeing brand new stuff still coming out. And again, not mostly in California. So it's mostly outside of California.
Yeah, and the benefit to that is that you can maximize or capitalize on the appreciation here in California while having an out-of-state deal with the cash flow. And that,
You will have appreciation outside. I was on the Zoom call with a client this morning, and he said, okay, so what happens after 10 years? What does my property look like? And from a rent's perspective. And I said, well, you would kind of have to assume, and I think safely so, that your rent will go up over a 10-year period of time. And because of the markets we're going to choose. Okay. I'm not telling them, let's go to Yucca Valley or Joshua Tree. And I bring those up because Dollar General has put businesses there, but I won't sell them because it's too small of a marketplace that if something happens and we have to rent it out to somebody, then, we just have a small pool. So the assumption should be then over a 10-year period of time that it will also come up in value. Okay. So it will appreciate in that 10-year period of time. In California, you're not going to get to enjoy that appreciation. Okay, so let me give you a good example. If you've got a Walgreens in Newport Beach, they just put a brand new one out in Newport Beach, and they signed a 25-year lease. Guess what? You ain't touching it for 25 years. You are not touching it for 25 years. And they probably have 5-year extensions. So there's a whole lot of time you aren't touching it, and you're not going to enjoy the appreciation of the building.
yeah,
Does that make sense?
yes. So those are all the things that people would consider when they're looking at a commercial building. the location of it.
Yes.
There's certain criteria, and take us through the type of criteria for the clients that we've helped, that you help them to appreciate why you would recommend a certain area over another. What are we looking at for
The,
buyers?
the first thing clients say to me is, I want to stay in California.
Yeah.
Okay. The first thing. And the reason is because they're used to getting to see their building. They're used to driving by it, looking in it. They know who the tenants are, and this whole idea of not seeing it is very scary. Okay. This is a big investment, and now I can't see the property. So we have to kind of get over that. And so I'll put some models together, financial models, and say, look, for 6 million, you'll make this kind of money, but you can take that and instead spend 4 million, and you're going to get the same income. So we kind of start to finally get there a little bit when they look at the numbers. And then what I tell them is that my job is to look for orange counties across the country. Okay. And I tell them, don't be snobs. Don't be Orange County snobs. Because we're all that same way. Yeah. And right? Because you know the good areas, the not so good areas, and all of that. So don't be a local snob and just think that there aren't places like that across the country. There are. There's lots of them. And so what we're looking for is the health of a location, of an area. So what does the employment look like? Is the employment based on one or two big, is it because you've got one business like a military base, and boy, that military base gets shut down. Uh-oh, now what's going to happen? Or is there a nice bit of jobs available for people? What do the age groups look like? Do we have a nice bit of age group, or are they mostly senior community? I mean, I try to take a look at that. The income range, I get to look at that. I look at what the house prices look like. So I'm kind of trying to get that feeling of the demographic of what is going on. And then we're fortunate usually to get some projected numbers. And so they'll say, if the census has happened like this over a period of time, here's what we expect to have this year and the next year and the next year. And you get to see what rent growth looks like and what appreciation looks like. And so my job is to find Orange County type geographical areas that would be good for them to invest in.
Yeah. And so that's a lot of work. So a person can be confident to select a property out of state.
Yes.
Because of the research that you do. And so what are some of the benefits of working through us for a commercial property?
Okay.
An investment, really, because most of the people, they're not looking to move. We're not moving them out of state for their home. This is an investment property.
Okay. Okay, so I would say one of the benefits of working with us from a commercial property would be the same benefit it would be for working with us for any property that we sell. And that is not only our expertise and our knowledge, which we've got a lot of years of doing this, it's who we are. And I know, Kitty, that's one of the things that was important to you when you came on board, and why Chad came on board is that we're all about our client. If it's good for our client, it's good for us. So we're never going to pitch something to somebody that we wouldn't consider ourselves. We're not going to, this isn't about a commission check for us. It's about a long-term relationship. Most of my clients become my friends, people. I mean, most of my clients are, Christmas cards and birthday cards, getting to know their kids and their family, because they know that when they're dealing with me, I'm not a salesperson. I'm a consultant, and I'm going to help them buy, or I'm going to help them sell. I'm not going to do what's in my best interest. I'm going to do what's in their best interest. And that's the same thing when you work at our company, and why we don't just select anybody is you have to have that attitude that I'm going to share with my coworkers. I'm going to share this new thing I learned. to help everybody benefit. And it's not all about me. It's about our team and how we can help each other and work together. And I think Kitty can attest to the fact that everybody likes everybody.
Yeah, no, I have to say you are, you are one of a kind in terms of a broker that's a working broker.
Yes.
That we are in it together. I'm learning from you. You're a true mentor, not just a coach. So, I was able to do my first commercial deal this year with your assistance and knowledge. And it can be something that's not necessarily in our niche. There was a, industrial multi-tenant building, but your knowledge of just the process, and that's it. The process can be overwhelming
Yes.
for a person. And that's what I want to kind of help people to appreciate, that there's nothing mysterious about the commercial world. With a little bit of education and resources, it is possible.
Yes. And I mean, it's not, it's not voodoo. It's just different. In homes, you're looking at different things. In commercial, you're more concerned about other things, other disclosures and those other things. So it is all about the process. So it doesn't matter if we're selling a retail or if we're selling, I mean, I've sold dental offices and an office to a cardiologist, and it's the same process. It's the same discipline. Let's put it that way. It's just the same discipline. And you take that discipline, you turn it into a process, and you go through that process, and the end result will always be the same.
Yeah.
Dotting the I's, crossing the T's.
Yeah. So any forecast, personal insights for next year for people looking to get into this arena of commercial real estate?
Well, what I say is that I like the ability to sell anything to anybody. Okay, so from that perspective alone, like I said, my clients become my friends. And so if I sold a guy a lakefront in Lake Arrowhead.
Froze a little. Can't hear you anymore. Can't hear you. Can't hear you, CJ. I don't know. Can see you, just can't hear your words of wisdom. Um, did something? Huh, that's just the view. Um, yeah, I don't know what would kick off the sound. How's your adjust the volume button maybe? Well, oh, well, I don't know. Video is working, audio is not. Well, she's left us. Well, as you all can hear or see, CJ is a wealth of knowledge, and let me see if I can get her to come back in. I hear something.
There I am.
Yes, I don't know what happened.
Sorry.
Oh, wow. I mean, this technology, wow, it's supposed to keep us advanced, but sometimes I think it just
It's
keeps
kind of crazy.
it is
So I think
crazy.
in a nutshell, if you're somebody who's interested in going where your client goes and feeling confident with going there, right? Then, like Kitty would not have done that commercial deal unless she had us to help her. because she cares about her clients too much to go and wing it, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so now Kitty's in a position that she doesn't have to say no, that she can say yes.
Yeah.
And so it's just more opportunity.
Yeah. More
It's
opportunity.
it's not just single family homes, but you've got more arrows in your quiver. You can sell more to more people.
Yes. And I love that because I don't like to have to say no or I can't. Those words don't exist in my vocabulary. It's always
Exactly.
I want to. I want to and I will. So
Exactly.
now I can. And I love that. This has been amazing. I recommend to anybody interested, we sit down and have a one-on-one consultation with you. Now during COVID, we're doing it over Zoom, but definitely if you're curious and want to know about your own situation and how something like this could work for you, yeah, reach out to me and we'll make something happen. As you can see, that CJ is extremely resourceful and knowledgeable. Has how many years now? 20 years?
Gosh.
16, close to 20 years experience of real working knowledge
Yeah,
from day one. So, you know, you will benefit from all of her expertise and knowledge. And we have a great team with so many different strengths and personalities. So we invite you to reach out to us and we'll help you. We're local here in Orange County, but we can help the country.
absolutely.
Yes. Thank you, CJ.
Thank you for having me.
No, this is great. I love this. We'll do it again.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.